You can clean your arteries every day using ingredients already in your kitchen. No prescription drugs, no medical devices, no need to wait until you're facing surgery to start caring about your heart. So what's quietly building up inside your artery walls? Why do some people still suffer heart attacks even when their cholesterol levels aren't that high? Can garlic or ginger be used instead of statins? And if you start today, what could your arteries look like in 90 days? This video will show you 7 herbs that are medically recognized for their ability to cleanse arteries, reduce plaque, and help prevent heart attacks and strokes. If you're looking for natural ways to protect your heart, clean your arteries, and prevent cardiovascular emergencies, subscribe to the channel now. There's more than just a list. You'll learn how to use these herbs correctly, the safe dosages, the most effective timing, and even real recipes that others have used to improve coronary health, stabilize blood pressure, and lower bad cholesterol. The issue isn't how old you are. The real question is whether your arteries are silently aging every day and what you can start doing about it right now. No one can feel their arteries slowly clogging. There's no alarm when plaque starts to build up inside the vessel walls. There's no pain to warn you that blood flow is gradually slowing down each day. But if it goes on long enough, one day the heart no longer gets enough blood and suddenly stops beating. Or the brain runs out of oxygen and you collapse within minutes. That's why cleaning your arteries isn't just a health trend, it's a life-saving priority for anyone over 50. Your blood vessels work like the plumbing system of a city. When you're young, everything flows smoothly. But over time, fat, cholesterol, dead cells, and bacteria build up and form plaque, much like residue in a pipe. This narrows the arteries, reducing blood supply to the heart and brain. If that plaque ruptures, your body reacts by forming a clot, and that's when a heart attack or stroke strikes. There may be no obvious symptoms. You might just feel tired more easily. You might blame it on age, but it could be the first silent warning that your circulatory system is under stress. So the question is, can we stop this process? Is there a way to keep arteries clean without relying entirely on cholesterol-lowering drugs or surgical procedures? The answer is yes. And the solution lies in nature, in plants that humans have used for hundreds of years. These herbs are not a replacement for your medical treatment plan, but they can be a powerful support if used correctly. In the next section, you'll be introduced to 7 herbs that have been biologically proven to help clean the arteries, reduce inflammation, and prevent plaque formation. More importantly, you'll learn exactly how to use them, what dose, at what time, and how to combine them based on your current health condition. This isn't vague advice, it's a practical guide you can start applying today. Garlic. Garlic is not just a common kitchen ingredient, it's also one of the most powerful herbs for supporting artery health. Its main active compound, allicin, is a biologically active sulfur compound that helps reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, lower blood pressure, and prevent the buildup of arterial plaque. Numerous studies have shown that regular garlic consumption can slow the progression of plaque deposits in the arteries and improve vessel elasticity. One medical report found that older adults who used aged garlic extract for 1 year experienced up to a 20% reduction in plaque buildup in the carotid arteries. Recommended dosage. You can consume 1 to 2 raw garlic cloves daily, which equals roughly 600 to 1200 milligrams of fresh garlic. If you can't tolerate raw garlic tablets or extracts are also an option. But choose non-heat-treated forms to preserve the natural allicin. Common usage. Chew raw garlic after breakfast. Slice and soak it in apple cider vinegar or mix it with honey to make it easier to consume. Avoid taking garlic on an empty stomach if you have digestive issues. Popular recipe. Crush 3 cloves of garlic, mix with 1 tablespoon of honey and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and take it in the morning after a light meal. Store the mixture in a small glass jar and use within 5 days. Important caution. Garlic may enhance the effects of blood thinners such as warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel. If you're on these medications, consult your doctor before taking high doses of garlic daily. Also, do not exceed 4 grams of fresh garlic per day, as it may cause stomach irritation or increase bleeding risk. Ginger. Ginger is one of the oldest herbs used in traditional East Asian medicine. Beyond aiding digestion and relieving nausea, ginger offers strong anti-inflammatory properties, acts as a natural blood thinner, and helps prevent plaque buildup inside the arteries. Its main active compounds, gingerol and shogal, work to inhibit lipid oxidation, reduce the formation of bad cholesterol, and promote better blood circulation. Multiple clinical studies have shown that regular ginger extract consumption can lower triglycerides and LDL levels while helping control blood pressure in individuals at high risk for cardiovascular disease. Ginger also helps prevent blood clots by reducing platelet aggregation, a key factor in the prevention of heart attacks and strokes. Recommended dosage. You can take 1 to 2 grams of fresh ginger per day, roughly equal to 2 to 3 thin slices. For dried ginger powder, limit intake to 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day, divided between morning and afternoon. Common usage. Brew warm ginger tea in the morning or after dinner. Add lemon slices and a bit of honey to enhance its artery cleansing and digestive benefits. Ginger can also be sliced and simmered in water, then stored in a thermos to sip throughout the day. Popular personal recipe. Steep 2 slices of fresh ginger in hot water for 10 minutes. Add 1 teaspoon of raw honey and a few drops of lemon juice. Drink in the morning after breakfast to support artery health and manage blood lipids. Important caution. Ginger may interact with blood sugar medications and blood thinners. If you are being treated for diabetes or taking aspirin or clopidogrel, consult your doctor before using ginger regularly. Additionally, avoid using ginger during high fevers or if you have bleeding gums. Turmeric. Turmeric is best known for curcumin, a compound with powerful anti-inflammatory properties and strong antioxidant activity that helps protect artery walls from damage caused by free radicals and bad cholesterol. Curcumin inhibits the oxidation of LDL, a key factor in the development of atherosclerotic plaque. Unlike cholesterol-lowering drugs that target lipids directly, turmeric acts on the inflammatory environment inside the arteries, where immune cells trigger plaque buildup. Regular use of turmeric helps reduce systemic inflammation, lower blood viscosity, and improve endothelial function, promoting smoother blood flow and lowering the risk of arterial blockages. Recommended dosage. You can take 500 to 1,000 milligrams of turmeric powder daily, divided into 2 doses. If using standardized curcumin extract, follow the label instructions. Most products recommend between 250 and 500 milligrams of active curcumin per day. Common usage. Mix turmeric powder with warm water and add a pinch of black pepper to boost curcumin absorption. You can also blend turmeric with honey to form small doses, taken 30 minutes before meals to support digestion and reduce inflammation. Popular personal recipe. Combine 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of raw honey, and a pinch of black pepper. Form into small balls and take 1 each morning. Many people also add ginger to enhance the artery cleansing effects and support liver health. Important caution. Curcumin has poor absorption unless paired with fat or piperine found in black pepper. Avoid high doses if you have a history of gallstones or are taking blood thinners. If you experience bloating or diarrhea after use, lower the dose and take it after meals. Cinnamon. Cinnamon isn't just a fragrant spice used in baking or tea, it's also a medicinal herb with proven cardiovascular benefits. Studies have shown that cinnamon can help lower blood sugar, reduce triglycerides, decrease LDL cholesterol, and improve insulin sensitivity, which is a key factor in preventing vascular damage. The main active compound in cinnamon is cinnamaldehyde, which not only reduces inflammation but also supports mild vasodilation and helps stabilize blood pressure in older adults. In addition, cinnamon has strong antioxidant properties that protect the endothelial lining of blood vessels from damage caused by lipid buildup and free radicals. Recommended dosage. You can use 1 to 2 grams of cinnamon powder per day, which equals about half to 1 teaspoon. Do not exceed 4 grams daily, especially if using cassia cinnamon, which contains high levels of coumarin that may irritate the liver. Common usage. Make cinnamon tea by boiling a small stick in 300 milliliters of water for 5 to 10 minutes. Drink it in the morning before meals. You can also add ground cinnamon to oatmeal, smoothies, or use it as a cooking ingredient. Popular personal recipe. Brew cinnamon and ginger tea by boiling 1 cinnamon stick, 3 slices of fresh ginger, and a few drops of lemon juice in 500 milliliters of water. Drink it warm in the morning on an empty stomach to improve circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and support artery cleansing. Important caution. If you're taking diabetes medication, monitor your blood sugar closely, as cinnamon may enhance the drug's effects. Avoid long-term use of high doses of cassia cinnamon due to its coumarin content, which can cause liver damage over time. If possible, choose Ceylon cinnamon for daily use. Green tea. Green tea has long been recognized for its heart protective benefits, thanks to its high antioxidant content, especially catechins, with EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, being the most potent. The catechins in green tea help prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, reduce inflammation within the arteries, and slow the formation of atherosclerotic plaque. Regular consumption of green tea has been shown to improve endothelial function, enhance blood circulation, and mildly reduce blood pressure. In addition, it helps with weight management, stabilizes blood sugar, and improves overall lipid profiles. These are critical factors in preventing cardiovascular complications and strokes in middle-aged and older adults. Recommended dosage. Drink 2 to 3 cups of green tea per day, with each cup around 200 milliliters. Avoid consuming more than 600 milliliters in one sitting, as the caffeine content may cause restlessness or insomnia in sensitive individuals. Common usage. Brew green tea using fresh or dried leaves with hot water around 80 degrees C, not boiling, to preserve catechin activity. It's best consumed in the morning or early afternoon. Avoid drinking it late in the day if you have trouble sleeping. Popular recipe. Steep 1 teaspoon of dried green tea leaves in 250 milliliters of warm water. Add a few slices of lemon or a few drops of ginger juice to boost its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Drink after breakfast and in the early afternoon for optimal absorption. Important caution. If you have stomach issues or anemia, avoid drinking green tea on an empty stomach or right after meals, as tannins may interfere with iron absorption. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, consult your doctor first, as green tea contains vitamin K, which may affect the drug's effectiveness. Hawthorne. Hawthorne is one of the most extensively studied herbs in cardiovascular medicine, especially in Europe, where it has been used for centuries to treat mild heart failure, high blood pressure, and circulation disorders. The flavonoids and proanthocyanidins found in hawthorn berries and leaves help improve blood flow to the heart, increase the force of cardiac contractions, and cause mild vasodilation, which lowers blood pressure and reduces strain on the heart. In addition to supporting heart function, hawthorn may lower total cholesterol, prevent LDL oxidation, and protect the endothelial cells lining the arteries from damage. A 16-week clinical study on older adults at cardiovascular risk showed that hawthorn extract helped improve heart rhythm, reduce chest tightness, and increase exercise tolerance without causing significant side effects. Recommended dosage. For tea, use about 250 to 500 milligrams of dried hawthorn berries per serving, 1 to 2 times per day. For standardized extract in capsule form, the usual dose ranges from 300 to 900 milligrams per day, depending on intended use and manufacturer instructions. Common usage. Hawthorn can be used as tea made from dried berries, leaves, or flowers. Boil 1 tablespoon of dried berries in 300 milliliters of water for 10 minutes and drink warm. The taste is mildly tart and pleasant. Add honey if desired. Practical combination recipe. Many people brew hawthorn with ginger and cinnamon to create a heart-supportive tea that also helps cleanse arteries. Use 1 tablespoon of hawthorn berries, 2 slices of fresh ginger, and a small stick of cinnamon in 500 milliliters of water. Simmer for 15 minutes and drink 1 cup after lunch or dinner. Important caution. Hawthorne may enhance the effects of heart medications such as digoxin or beta blockers. If you are taking drugs for heart failure or high blood pressure, consult your doctor first before using Hawthorne regularly. Also, avoid combining it with other herbal teas that have strong blood pressure lowering effects to prevent excessive drops in blood pressure.
Holy basil. Holy basil, also known as tulsi in traditional Indian Ayurvedic medicine, offers comprehensive support for cardiovascular health by helping regulate blood pressure, reduce oxidative stress, and improve lipid metabolism. Unlike herbs that target only cholesterol or blood pressure, holy basil also supports the adrenal glands and helps control stress hormones, one of the hidden contributors to blood vessel damage. Its main active compounds include eugenol, ursolic acid, and various flavonoids. These substances have strong anti-inflammatory effects, helping to prevent plaque formation and calm inflammation in the endothelium lining the blood vessels. Holy basil also reduces platelet aggregation, promoting smoother blood flow and lowering the risk of clot formation. Recommended dosage. You can consume 300 to 600 milligrams of fresh holy basil leaves daily, roughly equivalent to a small handful. For capsule form, the typical dose is 500 milligrams per day, taken after meals. Common usage. Use fresh leaves to brew tea or eat them as part of your meals. To make holy basil tea, boil 5 to 7 fresh or dried leaves in 250 milliliters of water for about 5 minutes. The flavor is mildly spicy and refreshing. It can be consumed in the morning or afternoon. Popular combination recipe. Many people pair holy basil with green tea to enhance antioxidant effects and support mental clarity. Brew 1 teaspoon of green tea, 5 holy basil leaves, and a few slices of ginger in 300 milliliters of hot water. Drink after breakfast to improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and stabilize heart rhythm. Important caution. Holy basil may mildly lower blood sugar, so individuals taking diabetes medications should monitor their glucose levels closely. Pregnant women should avoid high doses as it may affect hormone levels. Do not combine holy basil with antiarrhythmic medications without consulting your doctor. Now I'd like to introduce you to a combined herbal formula for artery cleansing. Most people don't realize that when used together correctly, certain herbs can produce a much stronger synergistic effect than when taken individually. In fact, many older adults have shared their own herbal recipes that helped improve their cholesterol levels, lower blood pressure, and noticeably improve their overall health within just a few weeks of consistent use. One of the simplest and most effective formulas is a blend of turmeric, ginger, black pepper, and raw honey. Here's how to prepare it. Add 2 slices of fresh ginger to a cup of warm water at about 70 degrees Celsius. Let it sit for 5 minutes to release the active compounds. Then stir in 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a small pinch of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of raw honey. Mix well and drink on an empty stomach in the morning. This formula supports artery cleansing, reduces vascular inflammation, promotes blood flow, and improves curcumin absorption from turmeric thanks to the piperine in black pepper. When taken daily for 30 days, many people have reported less fatigue, mild blood pressure reduction, and deeper, more restful sleep. Another popular formula for midday or afternoon is a herbal tea blend of green tea, hawthorn, cinnamon, and holy basil leaves. To make it, combine 1 teaspoon of dried green tea, 1 small cinnamon stick, 1 teaspoon of dried hawthorn berries, and a few fresh holy basil leaves. Simmer the ingredients in 500 ml of water for 10 to 15 minutes. While the tea is still warm, divide it into 2 servings to be enjoyed after lunch and in the mid-afternoon. This tea helps relax the blood vessels, stabilize heart rhythm, lower cholesterol, and gently regulate blood sugar, especially with the combined effects of cinnamon and hawthorn. The taste is mild, slightly tart, and pleasant, ideal for making part of your daily routine. For those who don't have time to brew tea every day, a homemade herbal pill is another practical option. The method is simple. Mix 50 grams of turmeric powder, 30 grams of dried garlic powder, and 20 grams of cinnamon powder. Add raw honey gradually until the mixture becomes thick enough to roll into small pea-sized balls.
After forming the pills, let them air dry naturally for 1 to 2 days. Store them in an airtight glass jar in a cool, dry place away from sunlight. Take 1 or 2 pills per day after lunch or dinner with a glass of warm water. This formula not only helps manage blood fats, but also boosts immunity and supports digestion. No matter which method you choose, the key principle is consistency. Stick with the regimen for at least 4 to 6 weeks to allow your body to adapt and benefit from the herbs. After each cycle, take a 1-week break before continuing. This is the safe and sustainable way to allow herbal remedies to support cardiovascular health and help prevent heart attacks and strokes. Although the herbs featured in this video are natural and widely used in traditional medicine, they should not be used casually or as a full replacement for your prescribed treatment plan. Individuals currently being treated for cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol disorders, or diabetes need to exercise special caution before adding any herbal remedy to their existing medication regimen. Some herbs, such as garlic, ginger, and hawthorn, have blood-thinning properties. When combined with medications like aspirin or warfarin, they may increase the risk of internal bleeding or bruising under the skin. Others, such as turmeric and cinnamon, may irritate the stomach and cause bloating or digestive upset if taken in high doses without food. Green tea, when consumed in large amounts, may interfere with iron absorption and interact with antiarrhythmic medications. The most important rule is this: never stop taking prescribed medication in favor of herbs without consulting your doctor. While herbs may help support artery cleansing and improve circulation, their effectiveness varies based on your body, underlying conditions, and overall diet. If you are taking blood pressure drugs, diabetes medications, or anticoagulants, keep a written record of all herbs you're using and bring it to your medical appointments so your doctor can adjust your treatment safely. Also, if you experience any unusual symptoms while using herbal formulas, such as prolonged nosebleeds, unexplained bruising, dizziness, diarrhea, persistent headaches, or ongoing insomnia, stop use immediately and seek medical advice. Some side effects may seem mild at first, but can impact your blood pressure, heart rhythm, or liver and kidney function if left unaddressed. Herbs can be valuable tools for support, but only when used with awareness and close monitoring. Especially for people over 50 or those with chronic health conditions, safety and drug interactions must take priority over unverified health claims. Think of herbal use as part of a preventive lifestyle, not a quick-fix cure. When used correctly, herbs can become trusted allies in keeping your arteries clear and your heart strong over the long term. One of the reasons many people begin to take artery cleansing with herbs seriously is because they've witnessed a loved one suffer a sudden heart attack even though that person seemed perfectly fine beforehand. Richard, a 72-year-old man living in Florida, had a history of mild hypertension and borderline cholesterol. He didn't smoke, wasn't overweight, ate relatively well, and still took morning walks. But one afternoon, while watering his plants, he suddenly felt short of breath and collapsed before he could call for help. Fortunately, a neighbor found him quickly and called emergency services. Doctors diagnosed him with a heart attack caused by an 85% blockage in a coronary artery. After undergoing stent placement and spending a few weeks recovering at home, Richard completely changed how he viewed heart care. Not wanting to face another episode, he began documenting everything he ate and drank and consulted his doctor about using herbal support. He chose a simple approach. Each morning, he drank a turmeric ginger tea mixed with honey and black pepper about 20 minutes after breakfast. In the afternoon, he replaced coffee with a hawthorn and cinnamon tea, adding a few fresh holy basil leaves from his garden. After 3 months, his follow-up showed more stable blood pressure and a noticeable drop in LDL cholesterol without needing to increase his medication. But what Richard valued most wasn't just the numbers, it was how he felt. He no longer became winded climbing stairs, slept more deeply, and even noticed slight improvements in memory. What mattered most was that he never stopped his prescribed medications. He used herbs as a complement to a new lifestyle. He focused on reducing salt, eating more vegetables, staying hydrated, and treating his herbal routine as part of his daily self-care. When asked how he managed to stay consistent for over a year, he answered simply, "Because I almost died once. I'm not waiting for a second time to do what's right." Richard's story isn't rare, and it's not miraculous. It's the result of patience, accurate knowledge, and belief in the power of prevention through the smallest habits repeated every day. What you need to do is start earlier than he did, while your body still has time to heal. When it comes to heart health, it's never too early to start prevention, and no action is too small to make a difference. You've just learned about 7 herbs that can support artery cleansing, reduce plaque buildup, regulate blood pressure, and counter the silent inflammation happening inside your body. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, green tea, hawthorn, and holy basil are more than familiar names in your kitchen. They are silent allies for your circulatory system when used properly, consistently, and in the right dose. But knowledge without action is no different than not knowing at all. The most important step after watching this video is making the decision to start today. You don't need to adopt everything at once. Just pick one simple formula that fits into your daily routine and commit to it for at least 4 weeks. Maybe it's a cup of turmeric honey tea in the morning, a homemade herbal pill after lunch, or swapping your afternoon coffee for a warm cup of hawthorn and cinnamon tea. Every small change is one step toward keeping your arteries clear, your heartbeat steady, and your brain fully oxygenated. Remember, you can't see plaque building up in your arteries the way you can see debris in a clogged pipe. But if you don't take action, the consequences will be very real and often come without warning. Keeping your arteries healthy is keeping life flowing inside you. Don't wait for your heart to send a message through chest pain or a hospital visit before you decide to change. Make herbs part of your daily life, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, so you don't just live longer, but live well. You now have the knowledge. You have the tools. The only question left is, will you take the first step today?